What's up, lovers? How are you doing today? Today I am making a video about 13 signs that you are more attractive than you think. I know we're hard on ourselves and we think like, I'm ugly and this and that, but truth is, you don't fucking know. And I'm gonna tell you some signs that maybe you're overlooking them and you feel like, no, that don't mean nothing. No, it means something. If those signs are happening to you, most likely you are fucking attractive and you need to start acting like it. Please and thank you. All right, so before we start, I created a Patreon at www.patreon.com/Melli Monaco. So if you guys want to go over there, check me out. I would appreciate you forever. All right, so now let's get into it. Number one sign that you are more attractive than you think, people smile at you a lot. Yes, you think people are just smiling just to smile? No, we smile at things that we find aesthetically, I can say that word, aesthetically pleasing. So if you find people like smiling at you when you walk on the street, when you enter a restaurant, right there, that's a sign that you are more attractive than you think. Number two, people enjoy talking to you. Yes, again, we like talking to people who are attractive. We enjoy your company. It's pleasing to the eye. We look at you and we're like, you might not be saying shit. Hopefully you are saying some good shit. But yes, we like talking to people who are attractive. You draw people in because you're that good looking. Number three, when you see people looking at you and they raise their eyebrows, that's a sign of surprise. So, I mean, maybe they're surprised you're that ugly. But no, usually they're surprised because they're like, oh, wow. That's not bad. Yeah, that's the type of shit I be doing. I see her do that, I'm like, oh, okay. Which goes to my next point, double take. If you see somebody looking at you one time and then they're like, I mean, maybe they're not that obvious, but they look at you once and they look away and then they look again. I am telling you, it's because you are aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And we're like, in our head, we're like, damn, he's good looking. He can fucking get it. Trust me. Number five, strangers stare at you. That is not a coincidence. It's not like, oh, they're just staring. No, most of the time people stare because they find you attractive, especially if they stare and then they go and start talking to their friends. Yes, they're probably talking about you and how attractive you are. Hopefully you don't got no beef because there could be some beef situation and they're like, yeah, that's the motherfucker that stole my bike the other day. Hopefully that's not what it is. Your presence demands attention. And why your presence demands attention is because you're charismatic, you're that dude. Yes, and they're like, Number six, you don't receive that many compliments. I know you're like, that doesn't sound like it makes sense because if I'm good looking, why am I getting compliments? No, I'm telling you, a lot of people who are attractive get compliments maybe on social media. It's overwhelming, it's a lot or whatever. But when they're in person, they don't get compliments. You know why? Because some people feel like, well, they don't need to be reminded that they're good looking. They know they're good looking. They have to know they're good looking. So people are like, they hear that all day long. We don't need to compliment them. I am telling you, it is a sign that you are actually more attractive than you think. Number seven, people are awkward or act differently around you, like kind of like nervous. You might be too intimidating because you are that good looking. You're fucking handsome. And nobody feels really comfortable because it's like, oh my God. Damn. That might be a reason why people don't even approach you. For example, I went on a date recently and I felt like the guy was kind of like nervous. He was fidgeting. He was talking fast, keep on drinking water. And I was like, are you nervous? You know me, I'm an ass. I was like, are you nervous? He was like, yeah. And I was like, why? It's like, I was just like, kind of like intimidated by you and thinking like, why me? Why would you go out with me? Like, you're so beautiful. And I was like, oh, wow. I was really flattered. That's one. But right there, like when people are acting kind of like awkward towards you or nervous when they're around you, it's a sign that they're uncomfortable. And why are they uncomfortable? Probably because you're good looking. Number eight, people message you regardless of your status on social media. So for example, I'm talking about Facebook. If your status says in a relationship and you still get messages and from strangers, this is weird. People are doing that knowing that you are in a relationship is because they're drawn to talk to you. It might not be on some, hey, let's go out, you are handsome, they're not gonna be that bold, but they are approaching in a safe and friendly way where you can't really reject them. But why do they need to talk to you? They're fucking strangers, they know you're in a relationship, why? You're talking to me. You already know. You're good looking. Number 9, you are often told that you have a great smile. A smile exudes confidence and it just draws people in. Number 10, this one is harsh, but some people might dislike you because you are good looking. If you find yourself with people having extreme feelings towards you, especially negative feelings, when you don't even fucking know them and you didn't do anything to them, you find those people hating on you or whatever, most likely it's because they're hating and because they find you attractive. In this case, I'm talking about mostly men, like in the same gender. So if you are a guy, if another guy is hating on you when you're like, I never really interacted with you or anything, why you acting like this towards me? It's most likely you are awakening his insecurities and he's comparing himself to you. And he probably feels like a little competition and feels like you are better looking than him, and that's not a good look. So let me hate on him, let me have other people hate on him too, so that, you know, you don't get no bitches or people don't like him or whatever. I'm telling you, this shit happens all the time. People just disliking you because you're good looking. But I mean, they're gonna find something else, because they're not gonna sound silly and be like, yeah, I don't like him because he's good looking. They're not gonna say that. They're gonna find some other traits that you probably don't even have, or that they don't even know you have, because they don't fucking know you, just because they're jealous of your looks. Number 11, people go out of their way to help you. People are fucking selfish. People don't want to help other people. So if you find yourself all the time with people being generous with their time, generous with their help, that is a big sign that you are attractive. Number 12, this one is a big one. People are surprised by your insecurities. You know, when you're around somebody good looking and they tell you, yeah, I don't like this on me, or I don't like that. And you're like, really? Like, if people are surprised, it's because they feel like you are so good looking, so attractive, that it shouldn't even be something that you don't like on you. I mean, obviously everybody has this thing where we don't like something on ourselves. But if you find yourself in situations where you're kind of like criticizing yourself or like showing something, oh, I don't really like this on me, and the people are like, really? It's because people think you're attractive and they feel like you shouldn't have any insecurities or anything that you don't like on yourself because you're that good looking. And number 13, last one, you have a romantic life, an active romantic life. Yes, what do you think? You think you have bitches calling you and like going out with you and all that shit because you're ugly? No, if you can be constantly dating, going out, meeting bitches, most likely you are attractive. Because if you were ugly, people wouldn't look at you. People would just be like, oh yeah, him, okay. But no, if you find yourself in like often dating and often going out with women, new women, most likely you are fucking attractive. So that's it. Those were 13 signs that you are more good looking than you think, more attractive. Yes, and guys, there's studies like that shows that we downplay ourselves like 20%. We are 20% hotter than what we think. Unless you got a big head and you think you're Mr. Universe or whatever. But yes, I'm telling you, what we're not realizing is that we see us all the time. Like, we're in the mirror getting ready or whatever, so we see us. We're used to how we look. What we don't realize is that we focus on like the little details that we don't like, little blemishes or whatever. But people who are experiencing us, people who are looking at us, they see us through their lens. And their lens is way different, because they're not just like focusing, nitpicking, okay, I don't like this. No, they see us for our entirety. They're not focusing on imperfections. I have a friend who tell me all the time, is like, you don't know how people see you. And I'm like, yeah, I don't, because I only see myself through my eyes, you know? So it's very different. And I think we all downplay ourselves, and we shouldn't. We are harder than what we fucking think. Also, it was a study. They had 120 participants, 60 women, 60 male. They asked the women to rate the men. They asked the men to rate the women. At the end of the rating, we had the results, right? And then they ran the study again, but this time around, they told the people some specific traits on each of the people. So some were negative traits, some were positive traits, and some were neutral. At the end of the study, they realized that, let's say they found out that Matt was the hottest dude, right? They gave a characteristic to Matt saying that he's a narcissist, right? When the women heard that characteristic, because it's negative, all of a sudden, Matt is in the middle. He's in the middle. He's not like the hardest thing walking no more. And same with like somebody else that was like at the bottom, they gave him like a good characteristic, and all of a sudden he's on the top. So right there, that lets you know that attractiveness is not just, you know, your look. It's also based on your character, based on who you are, based on your value. And that's why you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, because even if you don't find yourself that good looking, I'm telling you, you are better looking than you think. And if you have good personality, right there, you can fucking survive. All right, that's all I got. So guys, you can subscribe to my Patreon at www.patreon.com/MelliMonaco. You can also follow me on Instagram at MelliLoveXO and at MelliMonaco. And I will talk to you soon. Good looking hotness.